Hey guys, today we're gonna do another Encyclopedia Brown. Today we're gonna do the case of the bitter drink. Bitter means makes you go like really sour lemons or pickles. Okay, Mort Liveright was known throughout Idaville as Fangs. That's a weird nickname, huh? He was only in the 5th grade who could open a bottle of root beer right between his teeth. On Thursday morning, he came into the Brown Detective Agency and fell on the floor. Encyclopedia was surprised to see Fangs in such bad shape. His face was very red. His well-known lower jaw hung down like a Christmas stocking. His cheeks were going in and out faster than a group of square dancers, like this. He reached an arm toward Encyclopedia. "Water," he said, "water." Encyclopedia ran into the kitchen, and he returned with a pitcher of water. Fangs drank it dry. Slowly, his cheeks stopped going in and out, and his jaw tightened. He stood up and explained. "I've been practicing." "For what?" asked Encyclopedia, fearing the answer. "I want to ride with the mayor in the Idaville Day Parade." "Back up a little, please," said Encyclopedia. "What are you doing down there huffing and puffing like the last dinosaur?" "Did you ever drink castor oil mixed with vinegar and horseradish?" said Fangs. "I figured that if I could drink that, I could drink anything." "Toughening up your tonsils, eh?" said Encyclopedia. "How come?" "Every year, the Daughters of the Pioneers hold Indian trials," said Fangs. "The boy who wins gets to ride on the mayor's car in their parade." "Go on," said Encyclopedia. "I'll catch up." The Indian trails are made up of 3 contests. Last year, I won at boiling water. Melvin Hoffenberger won at setting up a tent. And then Melvin won deciding contest on who could drink the bitter drink. "Okay, I'm beginning to follow you," said Encyclopedia. "In the old days," said Fang, "an Indian youth couldn't become a brave until he swallowed a bitter drink without changing the expression on his face, which meant you couldn't go, ugh. You had to just drink it like you didn't care." So Fangs put a quarter on the gasoline can beside Encyclopedia and said, "I want to hire you." "You suspect Melvin cheated on his swallows?" "He did something crooked last year," said Fangs. "The stuff we had to drink could clean a stove, but Melvin drank it down like pineapple punch. I want you to watch him at the Indian trials tomorrow." "I'll watch him like a factory clock," promised Encyclopedia. That means people that work in factories watch the clock because they want to go home when their day is done. The next morning, Encyclopedia rode over to Sally's house and explained the case. "You keep an eye on the bitter drink," he said. "I'll be watching Melvin make mistakes." The Indian trials were held on the field behind the Veterans Building. When the 2 detectives arrived, the tent pitching contest was beginning. Encyclopedia looked around for Fangs. It was difficult to find him because all the boys were dressed like Indians. At the soda fountain outside the Veterans Building, Encyclopedia spied a small Indian. The Indian spat something into the trash can. It rang like a bottle top. "Fangs," said Encyclopedia, hurrying over. "Why aren't you pitching a tent?" "I'm saving myself," said Fangs. "It's too hot. Besides, Melvin will win that easily. I've got to be my best for the boiling water contest. If I don't win that, then the bitter drink contest won't much matter." Encyclopedia had no trouble spotting Melvin among the 12 boys. His tent was the first up. Finally, all the tents were up, and the boys moved into the shade trees to wait on the water boiling contest. Encyclopedia kept his eyes on Melvin, and the champion sat down under a tree beside a towel and an ice bucket. First, he filled his mouth with ice. Then he put some more ice in the towel, and he held the towel to the back of his neck so he could get cold. "He sure knows how to stay cool on a hot day," Encyclopedia thought. Melvin sucked the ice and rested while the water boiling contest was held out in the sun. All the boys in the contest used their hands except Fangs. He used his teeth, too. The other boys tried to spark by knocking one stone against another. Fangs held a stone in each hand and knocked against a third stone between his teeth. Ew. Sparks flew out of his mouth like a Chinese skyrocket. Before anyone else got the first weak flame, Fangs had a roaring fire going under his kettle of water. It was one victory apiece. Fangs won, Melvin won, and now the bitter drink contest would decide the final. Sally stopped by Encyclopedia and said, "The bitter drink is ready. It tastes like mustard bath." Ugh, that sounds terrible. Only 5 boys dared to try that drink. After one swallowed, they dropped the cup and went leaping away as if gravity were out of style. The other boys hung back looking at Melvin. The champion calmly spat out his mouth full of ice. He wiped his hands on his towel and took the cup. He made his face as blank as a refrigerator door. Then, without changing his expression, he drained the cup. "He isn't human," moaned Fangs. "You've got the strongest jaws here," said Encyclopedia. "Lock them together once you get that stuff down and you'll win." "Did you see something?" asked Fangs hopefully. "Did you see Melvin cheat?" "Never mind," said Encyclopedia. "Just keep your face still and hold the drink in." "Okay," growled Fangs. So look, they have a picture of Fang with his rocks between his teeth, using it to start his fire. That's so silly, huh? "Keep my face still, hold the drink in. I'll do it. I'll make them forget." Hoover Dam, which is a place that holds lots of water. He seized the cup and downed it in 2 gulps. Then his mighty jaw locked, and though his eyes popped in and out, he swayed and bounced around like a big rope bridge. "That's good enough to win," said Encyclopedia. "Only Melvin did any better, and he'll be ruled out of the contest after I speak to the judges." How had Melvin cheated? Well, let's take a look. Melvin used the ice to cool himself in the heat of the day and for something else. He kept the ice in his mouth to freeze his taste buds on his tongue. That's the things that make it so you can taste stuff. With his taste buds deadened, he couldn't taste a thing. So he had no trouble at all drinking the bitter drink. So Encyclopedia knew because he saw him spit them out at the last minute. Yay! Love you guys. Bye-bye.